So there is a central thesis to all of this, but sometimes I just find it easier to talk about individual elements. Tonight I'm thinking about reframing. Reframing is the shit in some ways. It helps to free yourself up from biases. It frees up your perspective. Reframing pauses the match so you can circle the ring and see every possible approach to whatever your problem is. But reframing does not give you superpowers. I'll use the example of a language, and this reminds me, Covey in his 7 Habits has a great example that's just like this. If my emotional first language is English, and I learn Mandarin, and I go to native speaker of either language, I say, hey, I'm working hard, it's fun, but I have an accent, and it's so thick that it makes it hard for other people to understand me, and they laugh at me sometimes, and I don't like that they laugh at me. To ask me, maybe you should think about your accent differently, is infuriating. Partly because you're not listening, right? My problem is with an outcome external to myself. And it kind of betrays a very flat and basic caricature of your idea of my life. Firstly, you just blew by the insight and the agency and responsibility in taking just by how I framed the problem, right? As not with my accent, but with an outcome secondary to my accent. And secondly, what kind of Dr. Seuss cat in the hat shit, when have you had the self-awareness to know that you're just not good at something, which is fine, but you think about it differently and other people will pay you more for it, for you having thought about it differently? What important problem have you solved in this way? I'm going to bet you haven't. And I'm not saying this just to complain. I'm saying it to provide oxygen to anyone who's ever had the experience of seeing a professional or somebody asking for advice and receiving smart but not thoughtful, but not wise, but not mature, technically correct, but not useful advice. It happens. And it is frustrating.